So friends, today we start with a headline. Trump doesn't rule out political violence if he loses. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, today we're going to start with one simple question. What the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Sometimes it feels like we're sleepwalking. We're slouching toward the end of our republic. Because a man who is on pretrial release in 4 felony cases just signaled in a Time magazine interview that he is again prepared to use violence to acquire the power he so desperately covets. What he did on January 6th, for which he is indicted and for which he will be prosecuted, he will stand trial, he just promised to do it all over again. And do we respond with a collective shrug? What the hell are we doing? Let's start with the new reporting about that Time magazine article. This from CNN. Headline, Trump doesn't rule out political violence if he loses. And other key takeaways from his Time interview. I don't really care about the other key takeaways. That's the big ticket issue and danger to America. And the man is on pretrial release in 4 felony cases, playing golf, holding fundraisers, and complaining about how cold it is in the courtroom in which he's being tried. He's being tried on charges that involve his interfering in the 2016 election to corruptly win the presidency. What the hell are we doing? That article begins, former President Donald Trump wouldn't dismiss the potential for political violence from his supporters if he isn't elected in November, suggesting it would depend on the outcome of the presidential race. Quote, I don't think we're going to have that, the presumptive GOP nominee told Time magazine. I think we're going to win. And if we don't win, it depends. It always depends on the fairness of an election. Here are 4 key takeaways from the interview. But friends, we're only going to do one key takeaway. The future of our republic, the health, indeed the viability of American democracy. That's the key takeaway. The article continues. Speaking to Time at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida, Trump at first downplayed the likelihood of political violence similar to the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Quote, I think we're going to have a big victory, and I think there will be no violence, said Trump, who, after the 2020 defeat, assembled his supporters in Washington ahead of the attack, and then, at first, refused to call for them to leave the U.S. Capitol grounds. But pressured by the magazine in a later phone interview, Trump was less definitive about the future. Instead, he continued to push false 2020 election conspiracies, which he suggested provoked the violent mob. Quote, I don't believe they'll be able to do the things that they did the last time, Trump said. Can I say that again, friends? I don't think they'll be able to do the things that they did the last time. What Donald Trump is saying is, I don't think I'll have to order them to attack the Capitol again because we're going to win. And if we don't, it's because the election is rigged. This is Donald Trump signaling, announcing, putting us on notice that he'll do it again if he loses. This is 2024's version of stand back and stand by. Come to D.C. on January 6th will be wild. When Donald Trump is told on the morning of January 6th that his supporters, many of them, are armed with firearms, he says, take down the effing metal detectors and let them in. They're not here to hurt me, and then we can all, including my supporters who are armed, we can all march to the Capitol together. Fight like hell, or you won't have a country anymore. Now go to the Capitol and stop the certification. Stop the steal. And then Donald Trump sat back for hours watching the attack on the U.S. Capitol, on the police officers who were trying to defend the Capitol and everybody in it. They were outmatched. They were outnumbered. They were outarmed. Donald Trump watched it, rewinding the good parts, and refused to put a stop to it. In fact, he poured gasoline on that fire by tweeting out Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what he should have done. Corruptly install me in power is what Donald Trump was communicating. That sent the signal to his supporters regarding his own vice president. Get him. And now Donald Trump gives an interview to Time magazine saying he's prepared to do it all over again. He doesn't think he'll have to because he's going to win this time, and if he doesn't, it's because it was rigged. And of course, if it's rigged, then, that calls for violence because Donald Trump has this unquenchable thirst for power. He's going to do it all over again. So the question for us, friends, is what the hell are we doing? Donald Trump is on pretrial release in 4 felony cases. The law provides that if somebody is on pretrial release in even 1 felony case and he poses a danger to the community, he should be detained pending trial. Donald Trump also was just found by a New York state court judge, found beyond a reasonable doubt to have violated the laws of New York 4 times over, which represents a violation of his release conditions in all of his criminal cases. Yet another reason the law provides he should be revoked on pretrial release and detained pending trial. Instead, we allow him to give interviews where he announces to us he intends to commit the very same crimes this time around that he committed last time, for which he's been indicted and for which he will stand trial, trying to overturn, using violence, the results of a presidential election. He proudly signals he's going to do it all over again. And we do what? We decline to apply the rule of law as it was intended to be applied. Instead, we give Donald Trump wide berth to do it all over again, to us, to the American voters, to we the people, to the police officers that he will undoubtedly endanger again in the future. What the hell are we doing? Are we fighting for the rule of law? Are we fighting for accountability? Are we fighting for justice? Because, I've heard it said that justice matters. Friends, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.